Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the LSCP Business After Hours with the NMU College of Business. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. You guys are going to have such an incredible evening with everything that's going on today. Our next Business After Hours will be April 10th in the Washington building, the Economic Development Hub. It's like the Flag Star building. You'll definitely want to attend that. That's April 10th from 5 to 7 with all of our economic development organizations. It'll be such a blast. Can't wait to tell you more about it as it gets closer. So keep on our social medias for that. But yeah, we have a bunch of prizes to give away tonight. Lots of NMU swag. And we're going to do that right now. So yeah, first we have a little winter bundle. And to make this really fast, let's not clap in between, but if you do win, please come up and grab your prize. So first winter bundle, we have socks, hats, and little ear coverage. And that goes to okay, it's Marina from Barrel and Beam. Sorry. Sorry, we love her. Okay, so that was the first one. And then the second winter bundle, Paul Kermeyer. It's for Paul. Yay, Paul. Oh, Polar. Sorry. Okay. Oh. Okay, so the next thing is a blanket and umbrella, and that goes to Leong. Are you here? Oh, yay, perfect. Okay, so you get a beautiful blanket and a very nice umbrella. I heard they're very fancy, and I'm pretty envious you're getting that. And then we have one more blanket and one more umbrella to give away. Elena Mail. Is she here? Okay, one more time, Elena. Sorry, girl. Okay, so then this one goes to Wayne Jacques, my BFF Wayne. He's here. He's very excited. There he is. Okay. And then finally, the last prize before we do the 50-50 raffle goes to, it's a chair. It's a nice folding chair with a little sling so you can travel with it. Jim Ray Hoy. He's a lucky guy. He wins all the time. Okay, so then next we have our 50-50 raffle. And it is a grand total of $50. And the winner is, get your tickets out. It's a blue one. It's a pink one, sorry. Oh, sheesh. Okay, it's 348302. So that's 348302. If this is your ticket, you'll have to show it to me. Does anyone have this ticket? Let's read it one more time. It's 348302. Going once? Twice? Oh, you lost. Sorry. Big loser moment. Okay. Wow. Okay. This next one is 348372. 348372. Do we? Oh, Dan. Okay. Oh, Dan's a big winner of $50. Yay, Dan. Good job. You did it. Okay, that is all from the LSCP. Hope to see you at our next Business After Hours. And right now, we're going to begin our big night.
Oh, it's dark out there. Good evening. My name is David Manson. I'm the co-founder with my partner Andy Langlois of Black Rocks Brewery here in Marquette. Thank you for coming out, which should prove to be a very insightful and interesting evening. We've got some great students with their amazing ideas and their entrepreneurial spirit really shining through. So we hope you guys can give them a lot of support tonight. The way we're going to do this is we're going to have basically 2 rounds tonight here on the stage. We're going to have the mini pitch, which will be a 5-minute presentation, no back and forth, just kind of a straight elevator pitch style. And then we'll take a little break. We'll have a 15 minutes right after we assign the awards and the prizes. And then we'll come back and we'll do the big pitch. And that will be a 5-minute presentation with the judges' 5 minutes of questions and answers. So hope you guys are all excited to hear some really fun and exciting new projects and ideas that they have. And they put a lot of effort into this stuff. So let's give them some love. So let's hear it for these guys who are on stage right now. Thank you. A big thank you to the College of Business for, gosh, this 2007, you said, was the first time that we've done this. We've got some years behind this. This is a great tradition. Also, the Lake Superior Community Partnership for the lovely food outside. Very delicious. And let's get this evening rolling, right? We're going to start with the mini first. But before we do, we are going to hear from, I believe it's Joe Teal, who's going to have a little word or two. Joe is, what is Joe doing now these days? He is the executive director of Invent NMU and the CEO at Innovate Marquette, which I think that's where they're going to have their next LSCP meeting in cooperation with that. So let's hear from Joe.
Invent NMU is the idea incubator at Northern Michigan University. Powered by students and led by professionals, the program offers a variety of entrepreneurial support services for those with business ideas, product ideas, or existing businesses. Our goal is to provide an experiential learning opportunity for students, as well as to help inventors and entrepreneurs within our community. Invent NMU prides itself in cultivating the talent of next generation professionals. Working hands-on with clients, NMU students are able to take what they learn in the classroom and apply it to real-world scenarios. In partnership with Innovate Marquette Smart Zone, we share and utilize resources to help our clients take their ideas to market and help existing businesses innovate from within. At Invent NMU, we truly believe all ideas are worth exploring, which is why we are so excited for you to hear tonight's finalists. If you're feeling inspired after hearing tonight's pitches, we'd love to connect and support you on your journey. Visit us at event.nmu.edu to submit your idea.
All right, exciting. Let's go. So we're going to get started with the mini pitch. They're going to be vying for some cash prizes, and they'll be determined by the illustrious judges we have here, but they'll also be determined by you guys. And this will be in both the big pitch and also this current mini pitch. So if you can, get your handy phones out and take a shot of the QR code on the screen right now. And wait till they're all done, of course. Don't choose your favorite before you've heard them all, because somebody may wow you. You'll have the opportunity to vote at the end, and that will help and affect these guys and maybe get them kickstarted to the next big thing. All right. So for our judges tonight on the mini pitch, we're going to have first from the professor of art and design, Alex Facati. Close. All right. Thank you. College of Business, Carol Johnson, and David Kronberg, Director of Entrepreneurial Outreach and Services at Invent NMU and Innovate Marquette. So let's get started with this. Our first presenter, Demetrius Katsalis, to use it properly, Greek pronunciation, is going to go after it. And he's got some great ideas with transportation.
I'm going to steal that clicker away from you real quick.
Oh, yeah. Don't start the clock yet. Doesn't count.
I want to time myself and see how I can do this. All right, first I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. Thanks to judges. I appreciate everybody's support for this up and coming program we're doing, this second year, right? So just flat out, thank you guys for coming. As I start the timer. All right, here we go. My name is Dmitry Koltsis. I'm a mechanical engineering technology student here at NMU, and I'm going to be pitching you the Upper Peninsula Regional Railway. We are going to be electrifying the railways up in the UP. And let me tell you why this is important. First off, let's start with a dream. Let's imagine our trips to Houghton when we beat Tech, because it always happens, right? We are going to be traveling to Houghton smoothly and swiftly at 200 miles per hour. We're going to be doing this just as fast as our grandmas drive, right? I know when they go to bridge, it's important, right? Anyways, now dream with me doing this while just finishing your work, making sure your week is just tying up together. You're finishing your work, you're reading a book, and it's peak colors out. You're just smoothly driving along, and you're not even driving because the train will be doing that for you. You can just imagine the peak colors out your window as you're flying by these amazing UP sites. Now let's talk about why this is important. We have a problem with lack of infrastructure. This is actually a picture of me I took over in Wotton, and we have a lot of these abandoned railroads that are just sitting there, reeking of opportunity, right? Doing this, electrifying these railroads will be a great, tremendous stride in producing transportation that is cheap, reliable, and sustainable. And that's the big idea. You can see that we are currently being outproduced by East Asia. You see all red, that is high-speed railroad. That's running about 220 miles per hour. And you can see our US. We don't have a whole lot of red. And you can even look at the UP directly. Orange is the main lines. We have no main lines in all of the UP, which is a big, big opportunity. Now let's say solutions. We want to build these high-speed railways to really connect all of the UP. We need to grow together. We need to keep UP the UP, and we just want to make sure that everybody is successful in the UP. We can do this as well. We can grow, and we can really start to show ourselves while being economically friendly and environmentally friendly and sustainable. And that's the big idea. Here's a few examples of things. This is my favorite picture. I imagine going down those colors at 200 miles per hour so smoothly, getting place to place to my next adventure. Now let's take a benefits. While we are traveling, we're doing less emissions, we're cleaning up greenhouse gases, and we're doing this so important. In our back of our heads, we know we're doing the right thing. We're not losing money. We're not depreciating our vehicles. We're not burning that excess fuel, which is the way we want to start idealizing transportation. I'd like to say even the fact that I know that a lot of us have a lot of opportunity we have a lot of healthcare issues up here, and I want to really just nail home that getting people to specialized doctors located in Green Bay and Chicago would help us tremendously in the fact that I know that I have a lot of family friends that need to be in places that are hard on them driving, right? So getting people to places in Chicago and Green Bay would be ideal. It gives us access to other forms of healthcare. Moving on. Now, I'm going a little fast. I apologize, but in summary, the Upper Peninsula Regional Railway will make it easier for everybody to enjoy the UP sustainably and be a great catalyst for environmental and economic development. And that's basically what we are trying to accomplish here. Thank you, guys.
Great job.
Thank you.
Excellent. Great job. Thank you. Next, we're going to have Lauren Wilsons with a kinetic charging idea.
Thank you.
Check, check.
Check.
There you
Oh,
go.
now it is. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. I have an energy idea using kinetic energy. You can spin a bangle like this, and it will create energy via kinetic energy. So you are your own battery. So in situations right now, we're talking about green energy everywhere, having solar energy, water energy, wind energy, all green energy uses, which is wonderful for large scale infrastructure. But what if you just want to charge your phone and it's the UP in winter? There is no sun. So when you need that, you can use this and you are your own battery. You can charge it as many times as you want, as many times that you want to spin. It comes with a charging cable that can come in and out of it and can charge any device, from a phone charge to a small battery powered fan to even a laptop if you're ready for a workout. And even with this device, it has a LED screen which can show how many spins you've made, how many watts you've made per spin, how many spins you've made per that day if you're going for a certain height of how much you want to spin, a limit, and how many spins have been made to charge the battery in total on this device. So it can also hold a charge. So instead of looking everywhere for an outlet or just hoping, praying that you brought your charger with you, which if you're ADHD like me, you know you didn't. It's somewhere. You don't know where. You maybe need to buy 5 more and lose those too. With this, it's fun as a fidget spinner, but it's more useful. So you can just be spinning this all day, all night, spinning. You're out in the woods if you like doing that. And you're doing this and that and whatever, and you forgot to charge your phone. You're under a canopy of trees. There's not a person in sight for miles. You're down the creek without a paddle. What are you gonna do? You spin like your life depends on it, because it might actually do. And you can use this, right now I have a prototype that I made for your arm, but you can use it on your leg. You can even, if you're really wanting to power like a laptop or a big device, do a hula hoop and just be spinning and spinning and spinning and have that fun as well. But for an everyday use, it's small, it's functional. For the prototype, if I would do it again, a sleeker, smaller design, but still it'd be very powerful to use. It uses function of beads similar to how a water road does. It has tension, so it can do, as long as you're determined enough, a lot of watts and a lot of energy. So in your day-to-day, it can be a whole workout routine. Do spin, 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 and have a whole fun exercise, lose some weight, have some fun, and then never have an empty battery. Or if your family is like mine and their battery's always down, you can be like, you have spin watt. What are you spinning? Spin watt. You have no excuse. Thank you.
Great job. Love it. Okay, next on our list and our program is going to be Nicholas Denton with his algae products.
Sir, clicker.
Do you need the clicker? Here you go.
Thanks, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Denton, and today I got to talk to you about algae. But first, how are we going to get there? Well, agricultural trends across the world are evolving at a very rapid pace. They're actually moving indoors into hydroponic, aquaponic systems. But just like any other industry, once something becomes industrialized, regulations need to be invented so that the products that they're producing will not go out into the environment, harm the soil, the water, the atmosphere, what have you. That is where the algae comes in, because what exactly are the byproducts of the agricultural industry? That is what we're calling effluent. And I'm going to repurpose effluent from hydroponic industry to benefit humanity in a number of ways. The very first one I'm mainly focused on is food and nutritional satiation for society. The effluent comes from the waste product of the hydroponic cultures, but they don't have enough nutrient in this effluent to continue growing plants. But there is enough effluent that when it goes into the environment, it goes into the ecology, it actually poisons the soil, it toxifies the water, it leads to eutrophication in the lakes. That's massive algae blooms, not the good algae blooms. But if we can allocate this, this underutilized resource, which I am already doing, we can turn it around and transform it into a number of useful products for society. Again, my main focus is food, but we can produce a number of very valuable substances: biodiesel, biofuels, jet fuels. We can produce plastics. We can extract oil out of algae. And as we all know, oil and algae soon will create all these products, plastics, fuels, which are going to be far more beneficial for our society because they can degrade naturally. They're not forever chemicals. And it is a completely renewable source, the algae that is. It's kind of a panacea to me. It is the answer to everything. Further, we can use it in feedstock. We can turn it around and we can put it in fertilizer and use it in nutrients for other farms as organic amendments. And it's a very simple process. Again, it's wastewater that is typically going into the environment. Soon the regulations will come into play though, and hopefully they'll make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. But while it's happening, it represents a huge opportunity for somebody like me, because we can just grab it, place it in this photo bioreactor here. I've already got the algae cultures to start this whole thing. The light comes from the environment, thankfully, obviously, and also these cyanobacteria, which they are, the algae, convert CO2 into oxygen, release it back into the environment, reducing your carbon footprint and our emissions, which is essential for the sustainment of our society. So exactly who will be benefiting from algae production in the Upper Peninsula? Well, food security is the number one goal I'm looking for, because we can eat these things raw. They've got more protein than meat. They produce more sugar 5 times more sugar than corn, 2 times more than cane sugar. And with some very simple enzymatic processes, some fermentations, we can make the cyanobacteria ready to be turned into ethanol, methanol. Those are the 2 widely most used solvents in the chemical industry. Again, we can turn them into medicine. All medicine in our world today is actually made from crude oil, which isn't so great for the earth, in my opinion. That's on the horizon for me as a plant chemist. It will become very easy to do eventually. Again, the soil quality, the water quality will all be increased, and that will contribute to our quality of life. The better health that we have, in my opinion, the better society will be. And again, we've got the plastic industry. They will benefit the farmers. They will benefit the atmosphere. I think it really is the answer to a lot of our problems, and it doesn't make sense to me why we haven't done it yet. So that's why I'm here asking for your support. So thank you very much.
Great job. Good job, Nicholas. Thank you. Next up with Wild Steps is Kylie Gustafson. Do you need the pointer?
Hello, I'm Kylie, and I'm going to be talking to you about Wild Steps. So here at Northern, there's been lots of student complaints about the amount of parking that's available on campus. Some believe this is because freshmen are able to bring their cars on campus, whereas lots of other universities don't allow them to do that. Some people believe that it's because we give out too many passes for the amount of spaces that we do have on campus. From my experience, I've experienced it from a resident's point of view and a commuter's point of view, and I have come to the conclusion that we do have spaces and lots that are available, but they are in more remote areas in the lots euphemistically known as the bitch lots. But people don't want to walk that far from them. So how did I get this idea? My professor in my entrepreneurship class asked us about why we thought that we had a parking problem here at NMU. And we came up with those ideas like the freshmen had their cars on campus and all those. And then she redirected the discussion in asking us, what is a social change that we could do in order to alleviate this problem? And that's where I thought of Wild Steps. So I found this quote, I thought it was very fitting. It says, "We must not, in trying to think about how we can make a big difference, ignore the small daily differences we can make, which over time add up to big differences that we often cannot foresee." And I think this is very fitting because with that social change, it's just something small that we change every day that we do as students that can eventually make a big difference. So what is Wild Steps? Wild Steps would allow students to earn cat cash as an incentive as parking in the farther lots that are farther away. Students' Apple Watches, Fitbits, and other smartwatches would be linked to a system that would track the amount of steps that you take walking to and from your parking spaces. When you reach a certain amount of steps, you'll earn a certain amount of cat cash. So that amount of steps reflects the amount of cat cash that you would get. Then you'd be able to spend that cat cash at the campus, Starbucks, Fiera's, the Den, Cat Tracks, and all those places. So the technology, a GPS system would have to be implemented into it some way to prevent steps that are not earned from walking to and from your parking spaces. Somebody could easily go walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes and say that they earn those steps walking to and from these parking lots. But if that was the case, then this wouldn't be effective for the parking problem. So that would have to be implemented. Another option we could have is logging your walk from your parking space to your on-campus destination, just like the feature on the Apple Watch where you can log your workouts. When you start it, you start it. When you end it, and it logs all the data that you accomplished in that time. So it'd be similar to that. You'd start it when you left your parking space and ended it when you got to your destination. So for funding, I thought that it would be a good idea to have it similar to the green fund fee and the student recreational pass fee. It would be added right onto your tuition bill. So every semester, this fee would be available on there. There would also be an option to opt out if it's not something that a student didn't really think they would benefit from or that they would use very often. So that is how that would be funded. So this initially would allow change here at Northern without having to renovate campus. We wouldn't have to put the money in for renovation. We wouldn't have to find space for these parking lots. And because renovation is expensive, so initially it's saving money. Having us as students just change something small about our daily routine, something as simple as leaving for class 5 minutes early to park farther away, and you'll make it on time, can make a huge difference here at the university. Thank you.
Good job. All right, next is going to be Ricky Richens?
Yeah,
Richens, thank you.
Hello. Hello. My name is Ricky Richens, and I am the co-founder of Peninsula Produce Company, a company I'm extremely passionate about and one in which we hope to be the first ever commercial hydroponic facility in the Upper Peninsula. So there are various issues regarding our food that we have to deal with living in such a rural location. On average, no matter where you are, our food travels 1,500 miles before it reaches our plate. And us being in such a rural, remote location, it makes those numbers even greater. Now, if you went to the co-op and tried to buy something local right now, a head of lettuce traveled nearly 2,500 miles all the way from California before you got it. Now, the Michigan Public Institute of Health has listed Marquette as a high-need, low-service city, and 8 out of the 10 most food insecure countries within Michigan are found in rural northern Michigan. Now, this creates a number of issues regarding our health. 1 in 10, over 1 in 10 of the adults in Marquette County are food insecure. And on top of that, almost a third of the adults are obese. So the problem is access to quality local food. Why is that? Because we have to import 93% of our produce because 83% of our land we can't grow food on. Even the land that we can is, because of our short growing season, we can't produce enough food to support our population. So how do we deal with these multifaceted issues regarding our food that affect all of us every single day? Well, the answer is hydroponics and controlled environment agriculture. In comparison to traditional farming, hydroponics uses less water, it uses less space, you have year-round production no matter the weather, you have a more nutritious product that has increased yield, sometimes up to 10 times as much as traditional farming, not to mention that it's a local product, okay? So think about that. You're reducing your carbon footprint by keeping it local, and you also have a much fresher product that you can taste the difference, and the nutrition reflects that as well. So how does hydroponics work? Here we can see a plant growing in a tube. This is called an NFT, or nutrient film technique form of hydroponics. The plant is rooted within rock wool, and the roots are always in contact with water. And now, because the plant has all the nutrients it possibly needs at any given time, that increases the viability of the product, it increases its growth, it increases its nutrient content, and overall just makes a better product all around. So let's talk about what we'd be growing here at Peninsula Produce Company. We want to grow a variety of leafy greens, microgreens, and herbs, expanding to fruiting crops such as tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers. Even strawberries can be grown extremely well hydroponically. Imagine having a fresh strawberry picked off the vine in the middle of the winter, grown right here in Marquette. How sweet would that be? So let's talk about the market. So there is a huge opportunity here for hydroponics, specifically in Marquette and everywhere really. But because that Marquette and the UP as a whole and the entire Great Lakes region is poised to be a haven for climate refugees in the coming years, this is going to be something we absolutely need. The hydroponics market is expected to hit over $35 billion this year and has a compound annual growth rate of nearly 16%. Some estimates even put that number closer to 21%, okay? And Growing Food Connections has even stated that we cannot keep up with the demand of food here. There really just is not the supply. We can't keep up. So why am I able to do this, and my co-founder Tyler Watson? Because we have a unique set of skills. We have a background in medicinal phytochemistry. We have minors in biology and indoor agriculture. We understand plants and what they need. And we've been talking about this idea for a very long time, and our passions just aligned. For food as medicine, we want to bring together this local food system and bridge the gaps and provide everyone with fresh, local, nutritious produce. And that is exactly what our mission statement here is at Peninsula Produce Company. We want to support local access to fresh food through local partnerships and nutritional education. And we also have a nonprofit in the works where we can address food security through community outreach, youth engagement, and facilitating the movement of food from farm to table. Now, we would be the only hydroponic commercial hydroponic producer in the UP and the only producer of year-round of veggies. We really just want to make fresh, local, nutritious produce for everyone who wants it. Thank you very much.
Great job, Ricky. All right, up next, we will have Trinity and Marissa talking about their fun trophy shrimp idea.
Hello, thank you for coming. My name is Trinity.
And my name is Marissa, and we present to you Rainbow Shrimp. How many of you have heard of competitive shrimp breeding competitions? That is to be expected as it is a very niche topic.
Well, turns out shrimp competitions happen all over the United States. What they are is that dwarf shrimp breeders come together and they present what they think is their best shrimp. Now they selectively breed their shrimp for patterns, shapes, colors, everything you can imagine. And the winner of these competitions can bid off their shrimp to up to thousands of dollars. Now, we saw this as an opportunity. We offer top-of-the-notch, prize-winning competition shrimp, supplies for people who want to start breeding shrimp themselves, and things such as nutrients to guarantee your shrimp a long and happy life.
So our target audience will be the competitors in the shrimp breeding competitions. However, we will also have kits and supplies for the hobbyists who would like to start shrimp breeding as a hobby. However, not all shrimp can be shrimp competition worthy. So the shrimp that don't make the cut, we will be selling for bait to fishermen. Also, we will be going into the pet industry because who wouldn't want a colorful shrimp as a pet?
Now, what makes us stand out is our unique and exclusive limited time holiday and seasonal shrimp. These shrimp are released for their respective holidays. Winter, spring, summer, Halloween, Christmas, you name it, we got it. We also have bundles for all levels, such as pets, competition-ready people, and breeders. We also give top-of-the-notch bait and nutrients to make your shrimp shine from any other.
With our company, we also have short-term and long-term goals. One of our big goals is to set aside some of our profit money and donate it to aquatic conservation to help keep this industry growing. We would also like to expand the variety of shrimp by expanding our color and pattern options for our customers. Lastly, we would eventually like to host our own shrimp breeding competitions and expand internationally. Thank you for your time, and don't be a wimp, get your rainbow shrimp.
Great job. Thank you. Keep that one. And last on our agenda tonight is going to be Jack Garris. He's going to be discussing solar charging options.
How y'all doing tonight? Good? All right. So I'm going to walk over here and present the judges. David, I met with you yesterday and you already saw these and you marked up the back. So I'll give it to the ladies first here, and you're welcome to just pass that along down the line through the presentation as you like. I'll run through some slides here behind me. So yeah, my name is Jack Garris. I'm here today to present some ideas about some concept vehicles that involve renewable or alternative energy that could be zero emission for some of our models. Just to give you an idea of where we're going, I'm going to skip ahead in my slides to some of the ideas that I have here. So this is just like a picture of a regular snowmobile. What we want to go is even past this step of an electric snowmobile, which is totally battery powered, no gasoline at all. We want to go ahead to the future of a solar powered snowmobile. That's what I'd like to do. And I think that there are some people that agree with me. So one option is a solar snowmobile. There's also an option for a hybrid powered snowmobile. Some people might be reluctant to give up the ability to fill up their tank in an instant. So they have the option of a hybrid model that I'm interested in developing. And also behind the snowmobiles, there's the possibility of having trailers. And these trailers could form long trains behind snowmobiles. And inside of these trailers, there could be cargo space to store essentials if you're going on a camping trip, or let's say you're going on a hunting expedition. You could have cargo space, but we could also have inside these trailers compact solar panels that could basically unfold, and they could expand into large structures. So you could get a lot of energy produced from just a small little trailer that has a bunch of energy capability inside of it. And we could also have wind power. So there could be a portable, telescoping, collapsible windmill that's actually just in a trailer behind a snowmobile. So there are many options here. It's not just a snowmobile. Another vehicle, if you look up at the top here, it says solar snow cats. These aren't like cats, like animals walking around. These are what you might see at a ski resort if you go and you see the big grooming equipment. I was out at Marquette Mountain last night, just watching the groomers go up and down the mountain. So I have some ideas about how we could have solar snow cats, and there are a lot of benefits there. And the last vehicle that I would like to touch on today is a solar amphibious vehicle. So amphibious vehicles, they're not very well known by people, but these are types of vehicles that you could use to transport on land, and you can take the same vehicle and just drive it right to the beach and go down to Mark Hardy's Cove and just take that same vehicle and just go into Lake Superior and just drive the same vehicle all the way across Lake Superior to Canada and just keep going. And you circle the whole earth several times in one solar powered amphibious vehicle. But anyways, I'll come back to the beginning here so that you can see who I am and where we're going. So the name of a company that I would like to develop would be called Green Mobiles. And yes, we would have green on the vehicles that we make. It would be on the bottom side, the top side would be black, because it's very important for our vehicles to have a stable internal temperature in the area where the battery is, because it prolongs the battery's life if it has a stable temperature that's in a certain range. If it's too cold, your battery is going to die on you. If it's too hot, there are also problems with batteries. So there's a range in the middle. So this is a chart. It should be familiar to everyone that fills up their car. You can see energy prices here. They keep going up and up and up over time. And we were getting up to this peak here. I thought my presentation was going to turn out like Al Gore when he did that movie An Inconvenient Truth, and he gets up on a scissor lift and he points and he's like, this is where we're going, way up here. So I don't have a scissor lift today, but our energy prices are getting crazy. So that's why I think that the demand is developing for snowmobiles and other vehicles that have alternative energy. So this is just a picture of a standard snowmobile, and you might be able to see right now some areas where you could put a solar panel, like on the hood there in the front, or on the side panels, or in the back there. There's a lot of open space where we could have solar panels, and you might be able to imagine how we could have trailers behind a snowmobile that have portable, deployable solar and wind capabilities. All right, so this is not my creation. This is just a electric powered, battery operated snowmobile that's in market production right now by a company called Taiga Motors. So this model right here, it has a range of about 60 miles. It can charge its battery with different levels of charging. So right now, level 2 charging is like the big deal. Okay, so that's where we're going. But I wish I had more time to show you all my great technologies, but it's 5 minutes.
Great job. All right, Jack is the conclusion of our mini pitch group. I want you guys to give a big round of applause for these guys. A lot of work went into this. A lot of great ideas, certainly. We're going to go through and we're going to determine who's going to get the glory and maybe the cash prize, but we can't do it without you guys, because crowd favorite is also a component that we need live voting. So you've seen everybody. You hopefully have the QR code. If you don't, there it is, back up on the screen. So get in there and vote for your crowd favorite while our illustrious judges come together and determine who's going to get the oversized giant check that we will cash at Black Rocks, just so you guys know. thank you. There is a live.voxvote.com. If you could put that into your browsers, that will alleviate any of the connection issues. And we're not going to go any further until you all do it. So get in there and get your votes in. We want to have a full room of votes coming to decide who is going to be our crowd favorite. So take the 2 minutes, give these guys a little bit of your time for the effort and time that they put in to present. So we'll give you a little bit more time and reveal who gets the glory. I've got the results right here. Somebody who's got all the glory and all the victory and some good cold hard cash. So there'll be 4 winners tonight. Our first winner, Judge's Choice number 1, will be Lauren and the spin one. Congratulations, Lauren. And Judge's second choice is Ricky with Peninsula Produce. Congratulations. Our Judge's Choice number 3 is Kaylee and Wild Steps. And your all favorite that you voted is again Ricky with Peninsula Produce. Again, great job, everyone. We're going to take a brief 15-minute little break, a little bio break, maybe check your phones, do what you got to do. And then we're going to come back and we're going to get started on the big pitch. So keep an eye on your clocks, listen for the announcements. Great job, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show will begin in 5 minutes.
Mini pitcher winners, those with the checks, we're going to need you to come back up on stage. And if you could run out in the hall and see if there are any other winners and tell them to come back too. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Now we get to the second component of our show, and that is going to be the big pitch. And this is going to be kind of an amalgamation of some stuff that was done earlier, including the business plan, as well as a lot of you saw the trade show, and then of course our live and in-person 5-minute pitch, 5-minute question and answer with our judges. And then of course, you all get to decide a crowd favorite. We'll put up another link if the QR code doesn't work with another number. It's going to be a different number for you to use. And very important after you've seen all the presentations to choose your favorite. Before we get started, we've got some kind of basic housekeeping things to discuss. The College of Business has been very generous in keeping this program going. 2007 was the first one, if I'm not mistaken, and that's quite a run, and it's great to get these kids some exposure into the business world and some of the aspects that are skills they'll carry on for the rest of their lives and how they analyze. So that's great. Big shout out to our sponsors. The new business venture competition has been supported in part through an endowment by NMU alum, Mr. Irvin Cranberg. I feel like I'm on PBS or NPR. Never really got to say endowment before. That's fun. Also, thanks to the law firm Kendrick Bordeaux, as well as Tailored CPAs. They are also giving some in-kind prizes for help in developing potential businesses. Also, Invent at NMU. Also, a big thanks to the Forrest Roberts Theater. Big shout out to those guys. Nice round of applause. All the staff getting us mic'd up and keeping the lights pretty and hopefully on the right side of my face. NMU Alumni Association, as well as the Lake Superior Community Partnership. So once everybody's presented and the judges have decided their winner and we've calculated your winner, we'll go through and we'll give out those awards based on all 4 of those criteria that I mentioned. And we will get some pictures and celebrate with the winners. So your involvement is very important. So this will be the 5-minute live presentation with 5-minute questions and answers. Let's take a look at our judges, the Shark Tank, if you will. First is Jim Baker, Associate Vice President and Co-Director of Husky Innovate at MTU. Raise your hand. There we go. Dr. Lauren Bigelow, is that right? Bigelow? Yep. U of M professor in finance at the Ross School of Business, as well as the CEO of Growth Capital Network. Marina Dupler, Barrel and Beam co-founder with Nick and fellow peer of mine, both in the industry as well as our workout club. Also a public relations guru. So thanks for being here. Joe Teal, CEO of Innovate Marquette, as well as Executive Director of Event at NMU. I've heard him talking to people already, so things are happening, deals are being made. Thank you, Joe. And then Dr. Brock Tessman, President of NMU, your president. All right, let's get on to it. The big pitch. Let's get a round of applause for these guys. Our first big pitch, if you were French, it would be brûlé. But it's Alex Broller, Cafe Luna. Floor is yours, Alex.
Can I see that clicker from you?
You sure can, just for a moment.
Thank you, sir. 5, actually.
All right.
All right, my name is Alex Breuer. My business idea is a cat cafe named Cafe Luna. So here we go with the lean canvas. This is just a bit of an overview. We will go through this a little bit more in detail throughout the rest of the slides. So I would like everyone just to take a quick second and close their eyes and think about a time when they were really at peace with themselves and when they felt good about what was going on in their life. So after you do that, I'd be willing to bet that majority of you that included an animal, one of your pets from your childhood or something along those lines. Well, what is a cat cafe? A cat cafe strives to kind of recapture that feeling from your childhood or maybe your current life with a pet that you have. It is a coffee shop that offers both coffee and smaller like breakfast foods along with the company of cats. So cats, along with being awesome, provide many different benefits. They provide comfort and mental relief for college students who may be stressed out with their daily college lives. I'm sure many of you are college students, many of you have been. You know how stressful that can be and how hectic it is. Our goal will be to partner with local animal shelters, more than likely UPAWs, to highlight their cats that they have for adoption. We could partner also with local bakeries or more particularly coffee roasters to feature their coffee in our cafe. And it also would provide a job that you get to brew coffee and also be with cats. I mean, what could be better than that? So there are many different metrics that you can look at. 87% of people who owned a cat felt it had a positive impact on their well-being. 25% of households in the US own cats. 200,000 people in the US have some sort of emotional support animal to help with that emotional well-being. 50% of people in the US consume specialty coffee drinks a day. So that means a lot of people are going out to buy coffee instead of just brewing it in their household. How are we making money? The question that everybody wants to know. Along with the sale of coffee and our small food items, access to the area with the cats, because it'll be separate from where you buy the coffee, will have to be purchased as well. It'll more than likely be like an hourly rate with an adult rate and a child rate as well. So what does the market look like here in the UP as I plan to open this in Marquette? Everybody in the Upper Peninsula that would enjoy the benefits of a cat cafe or what I'm looking to capture here, would be just over 300,000 people that live in the UP. Narrowing it down further, customers that live in the Marquette or surrounding areas that like both drinking coffee and spending time with cats. And then narrow down further from there, mainly university students that go to NMU who are living those stressful lives. So pre-launch, we'd like to determine the lead customer, generate customer leads, do some customer discovery, things like that. After we launch, we'd like to target those NMU students, develop our social media presence, and also organize, implement customer feedback, and then actually make that into meaningful changes. There are no cat cafe competitors here in Marquette, or even really anywhere close to us. The closest one would be in Appleton, Wisconsin, which is a 4-hour drive from here. Timeline, we plan to open in 2024, working on advertising. 2025, we continue advertising, solidify the current customer base, and then 2026, look into a new customer demographic and also decrease expenses where we see fit after the first 2 years of business. Here's some numbers. The only one that matters here is the total startup funds that are required would be about $70,000 based on some just preliminary numbers. And then my team members would be me, I'm the founder. My amazing girlfriend who came up with the idea would be the chief marketing officer. One of my cats, Luna, would be the chief financial officer. She was the namesake of the company. And then my second cat, Willow, she would be the barista / shop manager. And that's all.
So when you prove that this is the greatest idea that's ever come to Marquette and someone decides to copy you, have you thought about how you can maintain a distinctive competitive advantage?
I think that our competitive advantage would really rely in the fact that both myself and my girlfriend, we both love our cats. My mom was a veterinary technician, so I've been around animals all my life. And I think that our passion is really what would separate us from any competitors.
Have you spoken to any of the local shelters about taking on their cats or some way that this would help them solicit adoption? Any connections there yet?
I have not yet, no, but that would be a goal for sure to see if this is even viable, if this is something that they'd be interested in, most definitely.
Alex, I'm thinking about our Wild Pups program at Northern
Mhm.
and how therapeutic that is for the campus community. But I know there's a lot of training that is involved in getting those pups ready for that.
Mhm.
The cat's going to have to go through some kind of like behavioral analysis. I'm just thinking about, a room full of cats and
For sure.
some sharp claws and,
For
coffee
sure.
goes flying somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
we would definitely, in working with UPAWS, we would definitely
Okay.
both speak to them because they've been around the cats for longer than we have. And then we would also look at them to make sure that they have personalities that would reflect what we want to have. But there would be no actual like metric or test that they would have to go through.
Got it.
To add to the question about asking locals, have you asked any local coffee shops what they thought about it and maybe like a pilot that you could test it out and see how it went?
I have not reached out to any local coffee shops yet either.
Right. And that's you're thinking in that future, more your kind of discovery in your beta.
Mhm.
I do like a lot about how you keep the cats as roles in the organization.
Yeah.
Where they actually maybe have a little, I guess I have 5 cats. So we have outfits for cats and different things. They have like their own little outfits and things as part of the thing
Mhm.
where they have titles and that kind of thing seems really unique to me and kind of catchy. So that
Right.
might be kind of a fun thing to look into.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious if you've explored any ideas as it relates to loyalty programs.
Okay.
And I think the idea is great, and I feel like we'd have a lot of first-time customers. And once you have them, is there a way that you've thought about incentivizing repeat business?
Yes, that is one thing that, like customer retention like that. Yes, a membership program or like you said, like loyalty would definitely help with that. I have not looked at anything like that thus far, but in order to aid with that, that would be like if you would pay for the membership, like a monthly fee, and then maybe you get like unlimited access, like something like that. Yes.
Technology might be able to help with that. I mean, there's a lot of RFID sensor technology now in the collars where you could have an app on the phone, which is a loyalty app. The more time you spent with each individual cat in close proximity to you could be
Mhm.
kind of like, build on something like that. Might be kind of fun way to add some more human connectivity to it.
Mhm.
Have you thought about opportunities expanding regionally, nationally? What would you do?
As of right now, I'd like to just keep it here. I mean, the more that we expand, the harder it is for me to, and I don't usually like to micromanage, but for this, I would like to have actual control over, especially when it comes to dealing with cats. I wouldn't want to tread in any territory where the cats might be mistreated because central management can't always be there or anything like that. So right now, I would like to be directly involved.
All right.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I think Luna should be the chief feline officer, but that's just me. All right. Next up for his big pitch is going to be Austin Nemi with G3.
So you guys might be running what G3 is. Really, we're just a company bringing in a new approach to hydroponic farming as a means to combat food scarcity. And at our core, that's really the problem we're trying to solve. A lot of people, particularly up here in the northern Midwest, suffer from a lack of food, lack of access to fresh food year round. Being up here with the lovely weather being the way it is, you can't grow year round. And also, even the stuff that gets brought in from out of state, due to the length of the supply chain, a lot of it ends up being, not usable upon arrival. So what our solution is implementing a franchise style model that uses a relatively user-friendly and scalable system. This system being the one we've chosen, the Fork Farms Flex Farm model. Now, we really feel that the franchise model is going to best address all of the problems that we face. The first being, of course, the lack of access, which the hydroponic farms are capable of doing that. But in reality, it's not a silver bullet. Hydroponic farms can be capital and skill intensive. And by having the franchise model and the support system that's inherent in it, we can help address that skill gap for consumers. I mean, our franchisees specifically. So this is the business model canvas that we've created that covers all aspects of our idea and our model. Competitively, looking at the map we've created with growth volume on the vertical axis and scalability on the horizontal axis, by using the fork farm system, our franchisees are really able to capture the maximum amount of growth while also maintaining a sense of scalability. So as their businesses and their needs grow, they can then grow to meet those. Looking at our customers, we've identified our lead customers as mainly business owners, so small regional grocery stores, restaurants, and even hotels that have large in-house kitchens that do catering. We've conducted some preliminary discovery, and in the process, we've also discovered some of their kind of needs and struggles and their current situations of their sourcing of their produce. So looking at our market size, realistically, what we're able to serve, it's going to be the Upper Peninsula. Later on, we'd like to grow to be able to serve the larger Great Lakes area, but right now we're looking mainly at the UP. Our team currently, it's myself, and it's Skip and Trey Scorfar, who are going to be our chief growing technicians, and currently we're looking for somebody that can handle finances as our CFO. Traction, like I said, we've conducted some ongoing customer discovery where we've discovered a lot of things based around what our franchisees might need, kind of growth volumes that they need per week, also a lot of their struggles that they face. And we've also broken ground in trying to get our initial proof of concept farm off the ground, of which that we're going to base, build the base for our franchise model around. Finances. Here's the first projection for our first 3 years of financials. And this is really reflecting, once we're actually able to kind of hammer down on what the franchise models look like, and once we actually start licensing out franchises. So, with that being said, we're looking for finances to be able to actually, get our proof of concept farm off the ground, be able to finally kind of, build our practices for our franchises, and then be able to actually start licensing those out. I appreciate you guys letting me come up here and talk about this. Thank you guys' time.
Austin, what would the, really like this franchise concept. So I'm interested in understanding a bit more about the initial investment that a franchisee would have if they wanted to reach an agreement with you. So equipment, kind of licensing, what are you thinking in terms of a average sized user?
So, I mean, it's definitely, they'll be leasing the equipment from us, and that's going to be a variable cost that's dependent on how many systems they want to run, because we don't want to lock them into a certain amount, and we want them to be able to kind of grow what they need. There's also going to be general just franchising fees associated with it, and that's going to cover the actual time that we spend training them. And then we're also going to be supplying them with all the growing supplies and like pre-seeded pods. So that's going to be something that they'll have to face cost-wise.
Okay, thank you.
So you had a little bit over $500,000 for your first revenue producing year.
Mm-hmm.
How many customers is that? What's your average revenue you think per customer? What's your range?
I mean, per customer, it's going to vary, of course, just because, with, the idea that this franchise system is going to be able to be scalable. So I can't really say that, one customer is going to be this, but in reality, it could be one customer might be larger because they might be getting more systems from us. And one customer might be smaller because they're getting less systems from us.
Sure. So give me, what do you think a small customer would be revenue producing for an entire year? Or what would a large one?
I think, if somebody was looking to get like 20 pounds like a week, they'd be pulling in 4 systems from us. I'd say, per year, 50,000.
Great, thank you.
Follow-up question, that first year, 50,000 revenue, what are the milestones, critical steps to get from here to that year? What are the core things that you need to get done?
The biggest thing is going to be getting our initial farm started up. A lot of it's just, up in the air until we're actually able to kind of create our practices that we're then going to be able to actually license and sell off to franchisees. So, if we don't get that first farm up, that's probably the biggest thing.
How long will that take? Is that a year? Is that a couple months?
It could be anywhere from a couple months to a year. The biggest thing holding us back is actually getting the substantial amount of systems to actually kind of create a full operational farm.
How much is one system?
So one system, of the Fork Farm system that we're using, it runs around $5,000.
So you have $5,000 upfront cost
Mhm.
for a single unit.
Yep.
And so right now you're saying when you say franchising out, are you franchising out to a business or you're franchising out to an individual?
So our initial kind of target customer is going to be businesses. I mean, there's definitely room for, the future that there might just be individuals who want to get into hydroponic farming, but they don't want to go about it the traditional way. They want an assisted route. So there's definitely room for that.
So you're saying B2B rather than B2C. So what do those businesses that you want to franchise look like? What would that be?
I mean, it's going to be a business that, needs a, secure like source of, fresh produce that maybe isn't, really truly satisfied with their current
So it
methods of which
could be
they're
a
taking
co-op,
it.
it could be a restaurant, it could be anybody who actually wants fresh produce.
Remote hotels that, they're kind of out of the way of the supply chain.
Right. And so they would have to purchase the systems and they have to purchase some buildings and infrastructure and things to be able to support that. Right. So with their existing capital, or maybe they be bankable to do that, right?
Yeah, and that's the the reason why we went with the flex farm model too, is that it has such a small footprint that they're not necessarily going to have to build a lot of extra infrastructure to be able to accommodate them realistically with the small footprint. That'll cut back on.
They could reorganize some stuff in their existing facility and have some room and be able to then have this as additional thing to there, and they can charge a premium for that. And then so say I'm now a franchisee, I purchased 4 of these units, I'm producing produce for myself. The general revenue that I'm generating from that then is in my existing value stream of what I'm selling through, whether I'm a co-op or a restaurant, whatever. Right. So is there going to be, you think they're going to have probably some type of premium because this is fresher produce grown on site, organic?
You mean from their perspective?
From their perspective, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there definitely is, room to, be able to do that. I mean, when you're growing it in-house and, basically harvesting it right there, I mean, it's something that's going to last for, an astronomically longer amount of time than something that's getting shipped across the country. So yeah, I think there definitely is room to be able, to argue for that premium price.
Great. Do you have any idea, I think, a percentage what that might be?
So what was that?
The percentage of what that might be above and beyond their existing?
No, I mean, that's not something we've worked out quite yet.
Yep.
Could you unpack one part of the business model canvas for me? You say that you're the McDonald's, you want to be, your North Star is being the McDonald's of hydroponic farms. Can you tell me a little bit about how you want that to happen?
I mean, that was kind of just a general, a best way of putting it. I mean, it's kind of hard to describe. So when we put down, McDonald's, a hydroponic farming, we just want to be able to kind of create a system in which, anybody can kind of license us and, be able to kind of reach that success that you might see with, the guaranteed success that you might with a, McDonald's franchise. We want to try to reduce, the uncertainty of hydroponic farming and make it and get it to, as near of like you guaranteed success as we can.
So standardized and ubiquitous.
Yep.
Great. Okay.
We have time for one final question from judges.
Have you tested just the logistics and space? So if I'm running a co-op and I want to have 5 of these, do I have the room to do what I need to do with them? Am I willing to allocate that space?
That's one of those, outside of just knowing, the dimensions of the actual system itself, that's something that we're still working on with, with our own, like, proof of concept farm. But, just, the actual system itself, when fully closed, it only has a diameter of 3 feet. So, we kind of feel that is, completely reasonable to say that, 4 of these things, operating in like a back room of some, restaurant or co-op should be reasonable.
Kristen, can I ask one quick question? I'll be quick. I think I'm very behind the curve and that hydroponics is still new to me. So I'll own my uncoolness, but I'm curious as you're pitching this idea, and I think the finances and the model, you're going to workshop it a little bit. What is the moment when you're talking about this that people get it and get excited? Is it the fresh produce? Is it being able to grow it yourself? Is it the fact that this is a machine made in Wisconsin? Like, what are the points that really resonate with people? And have you identified that?
Well, yeah, just from, the amount of times I've talked to people, I think what really kind of, catches their attention is just the idea, especially like in a restaurant setting, of knowing like the produce that you're eating right now that was grown in like the next room over, the idea of it being almost instantly from harvest to plate.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great job, Austin. All right, next up is going to be Paige Lapointe, right? Yep, and she's going to be talking about her New Life candles.
Hi, my name is Paige Lapointe and my business is called New Life Candles. Our purpose is to provide our customers with the perfect balance of quality, affordability, and sustainability while saving you time by allowing you to shop from your home. We use soy wax because it burns cleaner, carries a stronger fragrance, and is also eco-friendly for you and the environment. There are a few existing alternatives when purchasing candles, one being through online candle shops such as social media and websites, and another through brick and mortar shops such as flea markets and craft shows. And I found a big problem where there are a lot of overpriced candles and an abundance of glass pieces like at thrift stores. I also found that there are over 28 billion glass bottles and jars that go into landfills every year. So the solution to this problem, I'm going to be reusing glass pieces, which I will be purchasing at secondhand stores. And I will also be refilling personal containers that people bring to me. And this will reduce contribution to landfills, allow me to have lower costing products. And then each piece will be unique because of the different containers that people will be bringing into me. I did some research and found that statistics showed that candles are used in 7 out of 10 households, and the majority of consumers burn candles between 1 to 3 times per week, with half of these consumers burning 1 to 2 candles at a time. I also did some research on the trends of the global candle market and found that the global candle market size is valued at 12.88 billion. And the annual growth rate is currently at 6.5%, and it should be up there until 2030, I found. I also found that a little less than $200 is spent by 77% of consumers annually, and the profit margin currently for candles on average is 35%. My primary target audience is going to be women with families, and my secondary target audience is going to be women aged between 20 and 40 years old. I chose to target women because I found that 95 or over 95% of candles are purchased by women. And I'm going to reach my customers using social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. This is my competitor analysis. So Yankee Candles and Otherland are 2 of my big competitors. Obviously, my candles are going to be priced a lot cheaper than theirs because I am using secondhand containers. And then I'm also going to use soy wax rather than paraffin wax and coconut because soy wax is better for the environment and it burns a lot cleaner. This is my lean canvas model. I chose to do this one because it's more customer based and I want to focus on my customers more than anything, which means concentrating on how my interactions help the customers rather than how it helps my business. Traction, I actually started making the candles about a year ago, but I haven't tried selling any. However, this year I want to create a website and photograph the candles. By 2024, I want to form a team of chandlers, which is basically just candle makers, and have advertising services. By 2025, I want to have my business savings grow and have my first talk with investors. And then by 2026, I want to have new investors inquiry, a client base rising, and then I also want to have a small building plan in development, just so that it'll be easier for locals to bring in their personal containers for me to fill for them. The cost to start up my company is going to be roughly $6,000, with assets being around $1,500, direct costs being around $2,500, and then my operating costs are going to be roughly $3,400. And then this is just a little overview of how my funds are exactly going to be spent. So it shows all my products, operating expenses, and assets. So again, that year 1 total is going to be roughly $6,000. And then this is my sales forecast. Obviously, I'm expected to lose money in the first 2 years. However, I plan to be profiting in the 3rd year. And then these are just some of the candles that I have made, and I have a lot more out there in my booth if anyone wants to see after. And thank you very much.
I'll start. Very pretty candles, and I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
talking with you. I'm wondering if we've talked about, for those in the audience, we talked about out in the hall, the idea of classes to diversify your revenue stream.
Yes.
I'm wondering, had there been any other thoughts on diversifying revenue streams, classes, contract work, anything like that?
Well, when I get my like actual building and development, I do want to do those classes to teach people like how to make them, because it is a really fun process. But other than that, I haven't thought of anything more like with my customers, but I definitely want to involve my customers a lot in my business.
Yeah, when I was looking at this, I know that hot wax and alcohol doesn't necessarily mix, but you know, those cocktail and paint pieces. I mean, everybody's got, you know, kind of cool family glass that they don't necessarily know what they want to do with. So I was thinking you could do like, you know, Facebook's got Buy Nothing, there's Free Cycle, there's Nextdoor, there's lots of places that you don't have to go thrifting to get these. You can if you want, but I was thinking you could have people bring in their own glass jars from home and then, you know, similar to the classes, but just have it as a more social piece.
Yeah.
Because these are really lovely. And I think that could actually, you know, add to your revenue stream. But one of the things I was just curious if you had thought about what strategic partners you could bring into this, some other, you know, sustainable thrifting companies, like, you know, any of the reuse,
Yeah.
recycle companies. Have you thought about any of that?
No, but I do want to like go around and ask people if they have any like sentimental jars that I can fill. Because a lot of people have really sentimental ones that are just like sitting around their house and have nothing to do with. So I thought that filling them would be cool. And then I'm not like too, I haven't done the wax a lot. So I'm thinking I could partner with someone who is more skilled in the wax because I'm good at finding like cool little jars. So I could partner with someone that's good with wax.
This might sound odd. I don't think you're a candle company. I think that you're a candle artist, and I think that you're a glass collection and recycling and reuse company. I think there's many boutique candle companies out there that produce amazing waxes, that produce amazing products today. I think that you have a unique model that they all can use. So I think that the idea of having local boutique shops where you can go in and design your own candles and use heirlooms and things like that is amazing. But I really think the concept focus really is on collecting the glass,
Yeah.
tying that glass collection to existing boutique candle companies and finding ways to prepare that glass to integrate into their manufacturing process for them to high speed produce the wax into your really cool designs.
Yes.
And my opinion, to scale the business. If you look at the candle companies out there, there's like, you know, Kalamazoo Candle and companies like that who have really great wax. They're engineers in this whole wax of burning twice as long and all this stuff. And your concept of collecting the glass that is meaningful and doing amazing art with the glass to make the candles really unique and individualized is a unique model that can go across the whole channel. And I really think it's exciting. I think this is a really great idea. I think if you model this idea correctly and scale it that way, this could be extremely profitable because then that would create a lot of revenue, I think, if you did it that way. And then that would drive you back with the capital to be able to do that really unique art in those communities where those manufacturers exist as a secondary thing to really make this be great.
Yeah.
My
Okay,
opinion.
thank you.
Yeah, a really cool idea.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Yep.
Appreciate it.
Joe, you kind of threw me the curve with that comment. I think that is great advice. My thinking is actually around the scalability and your expansion plans you outlined and how you would grapple with the balance between your kind of brick and mortar, local kind of kind of very intimate side of your business. And then what I do understand is kind of an online shipping based side of your business, because I think if you go in that direction, it'll challenge that kind of intimate model a bit if you stick with the candles only.
Yeah.
Also, just in terms of shipping, part of your model is sustainability, kind of recycling. If you start getting into a lot of shipping materials and that kind of thing, it'll challenge your brand in that way. So I think that inherent tension is between this as a art-based kind of relationship-based enterprise versus a candle enterprise. You'll find the right path.
Okay, judges, we have time for one more question.
Just one, along those lines, if you have thought about, or an encouragement to think about partnerships with regional craft shops, regional hobby shops, regional glass shops, to allow you to scale without the shipping issues. Have you given that any thought, or how to get your wax into others' hands so that they can enable local candle making?
Sorry, what was?
To get your wax in the hands of other regional shops so that they can enable the model to scale without you having to do it, without you having to ship stuff?
Oh, yeah. I haven't looked too much into that yet, but I do plan on doing that because we were talking about it a little bit out there and he had some good points.
Great.
Good job.
Nice
Thank you.
Great job. Next will be Rachel Harvey. She'll be talking about the canine aquatic therapy, and you're going to have to use this mic because yours doesn't work.
All right, thank you everybody for coming. My business is Superior Canine Aquatic Therapy, a hydrotherapy facility for dogs. A little bit about me. My name is Rachel, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about my passion for this business. So I have been a veterinary assistant for almost 3 years now, and it all started off when, unfortunately, my dog Casey here to the right, I'm a little bit in the way, she did end up passing away from some pretty severe hip dysplasia, severe neurological issues, and I did have a hard time dealing with that. So what I decided to do is I decided to devote my life, at least as of right now, to figuring out why and how I can help dogs like her and people like myself emotionally. I now own a working line German Shepherd named Napalm, and he is my best friend, and I am very devoted into helping him live his best life possible, and aquatic therapy can do that. And so I decided to apply my business knowledge and my knowledge now with veterinary medicine and create a hydrotherapy facility. So what is canine hydrotherapy? Well, the big word for it is water-based veterinary physiotherapy. This means nothing to me, it means nothing to you. So what this does is you apply key water properties such as buoyancy, resistance, and thermodynamics to the joints and to the muscles in a controlled way to help rehabilitate, whether it be post-surgically or post-injury. You could also strengthen and condition for those canine athletes, and just for overall general performance enhancement, and for cases like Casey with neurological issues, we can also decrease those painful symptoms. So the problem we have at hand right here is that we are euthanizing our dogs for mobile issues way more often than we should. This is actually one of our #1 reasons for euthanizing our pets, but it's inevitable, but the pain is preventable, okay? So the problem is dogs are rupturing their ACLs, and when dogs rupture their ACLs, they are more than likely to rupture their other one. So with rehabilitation, we can prevent this from happening. Also, we have total hip replacements that tend to be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 that I don't know about you, but I don't have $20,000 to throw down on a surgery right out of pocket. And I know most people people don't. So I want to save your time and money. And you may ask me, well, why can't I send my dog out into the lake? Well, number one, we have winter almost all year round, so that's not effective. But Lake Superior is very cold. It can be dangerous, and it's not as effective. There's not as many therapeutic properties when we do this instead of a controlled hydrotherapist doing so. So I came up with a solution, and that is the Upper Peninsula's very own canine hydrotherapy facility. We'll call it Superior Canine Aquatic Therapy, where we will offer underwater treadmills, personalized water-based treatments for our painful dogs, our painful geriatric arthritic dogs or recovering dogs, all the while saving you thousands of dollars long-term in surgeries and recovery. And this is a safe and convenient way to do so. All right, and then before I have him play this video here, I want you to pay attention to how painful this German Shepherd is. Now remember, German Shepherds are predisposed to horrible hips, and clearly he is painful. But then I want you to see the difference between him outside and him in the hydrotherapy treadmill. You can go ahead. You can see we're stressed, we're painful, we're not enjoying our exercise, but now we're drinking water, we're walking just fine, and we're more than happy being in the water, getting our exercise that we normally wouldn't be able to do, whether it be in the winter months or the summer months, or just in general, because we're so painful. And our geriatric dogs are dangerous to put under anesthesia, so this is an alternative way to keep them healthy and happy. So at Superior Canine Hydrotherapy, we plan to save your time and money by preventing specialty canine surgery costs, decreasing post-surgery recovery time, and helping you and your dog face fewer mobile obstacles. This is Jessie. Jessie is was my 3-month-old broken-legged Belgian Malinois. And if you guys know anything about Belgian Malinois, you know that you cannot
I am sure somewhere in there you have a financial model.
I
Can you
do.
go to that slide and tell
Yes.
us a little bit about it?
Yes, so financially, we plan to have $29,000 by year 2. This is with, by that point, we will have 2 underwater treadmills. Year 3, we will have 3, and we plan to make $166,000. This is with 15 to 18 patients daily, 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, $30 to $45 per patient, and we plan to increase that by 3 by year 2. And yeah, in the future, we plan to have a boarding kennel and a driving service for the convenience of bringing your animals to and from our facility, because it's hard enough to get your dogs to a place to exercise, let alone bring them all the way to us. So we want to provide a convenient way to do that.
Do you guys have a beta test where a partner that you're going to test this out at, a veterinary office, or? how are you gonna
Yes,
get
so I actually work at a veterinary office, and I've spent a lot of time talking about the different hydrotherapy options. And there's actually a hydrotherapy underwater treadmill at Marquette Vet Clinic, and they use it after their post ACL surgeries. And he uses it as more of a rehabilitation versus weight loss and stuff like that. So.
Rachel, this hits home for me. Our older dog has tore one of her dog ACLs,
Yep.
and then actually I think recently tore her other. It is a huge impact on her mobility and happiness. I'm thinking about scalability. I like using your facility, the Superior Clinic as a kind of model, but I could see a kind of Rachel method, right? For this, that as kind of intellectual property could be used across the country. You wouldn't bear the cost of building new facilities and whatnot, but I think that you could export this method to other clinics around the country and serve a lot of dogs that way.
Thank you. I've actually gotten to work with your dog, so she was a little bit of a motivation for me today.
Yeah, okay,
So
good,
yes.
good.
On your revenue model, did you include tax?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you include federal income tax?
Yes, I included taxes, I included insurance, just general overhead with building expenses, the treadmills, the maintenance of the treadmills, different software expenses as well.
Right. I like your mobile model a lot. We talked
Thank
about
you.
it out there. And I
Thank
think
you.
that there's some opportunities to additional verticals in that.
Mhm.
I mean, if you look in other regions, they've got a lot of, mobile dog washing and more like cosmetic care kind of
Yep.
stuff. And if you already got the dog in the water, you're already washing the dog, you already got your hands on the dog.
Yes.
It may be a really interesting thought
Mm-hmm.
outside of veterinary for some services that may be part of that mobile grooming, where you may be easier to groom the dogs while they're doing some exercise at the same time.
Yeah.
And it might be a really cool scaling opportunity through that mobile network to get them on board with, having the dogs in the water and having some more exercise happening during that. And it might even be easier to groom the dogs at that point. So that just an idea. Thought we talked about it earlier. I think that might be interesting to see what that might look like.
No, I
rather
agree.
than-
I like
rather than
the
brick and
idea.
mortar business, right?
Yep. I like the idea of bringing it to them too. It's a lot more convenient. And I know you said that we're 10 years behind in stuff like that. So I think it
Yep.
would be a good jump to convenience and saving money and stuff like that. So-
Doing it. And then that mobility also could go to veterinary clinics too.
Mhm.
There may be clinics that may not want to make that upfront cost with those modifications, and then multiple verticals that maybe in that mobile platform might be a less upfront cost to have that happen, some slight modification, but still have the mobility to go to the veterinary clinics and schedule like a whole day, at a time.
Are there any regulatory licensing or even
Yes.
general liability issues?
Yes, so at the clinic, we don't need a veterinarian there. However, ideally, if we had a specialized certified hydrotherapist, that would be ideal. Ideally, it would be me. I plan to graduate and get my licensed veterinary technician degree as well as my hydrotherapy certification. So I would be able to be hands-on in my business, and I would also hire a couple assistants to help me go along with that. And I think my biggest surprise when I was making my financial plan was how much I wanted to pay my employees, how much money that is overall. So I'm going to have about 8 employees, a couple assistants, a couple receptionists. But I would like to be the main therapist for sure.
Thank you. We have time for one final question from the judges.
I have just one. I love that you kicked off with your why, and I'm so sorry about Casey. And I think the beautiful thing is it's guided you. And I am a big believer in the Simon Sinek, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm not a science person. I get a little lost in some of the jargon, and I wonder for your unique value proposition, have you thought about expanding it to be just something a little bit more back to Casey and how you really just want dogs to feel better and live
So I'm
longer?
going to go to my last slide regardless.
Okay,
I do plan on having long-term growth, and my very last plan is actually working line breed training. I have a German Shepherd right now. He's a trained personal protection dog from Czechoslovakia, so he's my pride and joy. So I kind of found a passion in that. But Casey was my number one. She was a Doberman, and we did enjoy doing that kind of training with her too. So while we can do on-the-job strengthening and conditioning with the working line breeds, and this can be like for just elite canines, athletic canines, police canines and stuff like that. So that's more long-term with that, but the driving service and going to and from, and now I may even considering going to them and staying there. And then the boarding for the busy owners, those are the number ones, but I think those are within the first 3 years, but the working line training would be probably in the 10-year plan.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. And then while the judges are getting ready and they're going to confer and discuss who they feel has the big pitch idea for the night, and then while you guys are getting your live Vox vote code in and choosing for yours, we're going to play a quick message from the Dean of the College of Business about the big pitch.
On behalf of the NMU College of Business, I welcome you to the Big and Mini Pitch event. My name is Carol Johnson, and it is my privilege to serve as the Dean of the College of Business. Our college offers students the opportunity to earn an MBA graduate degree, 13 baccalaureate programs, numerous associate degrees, and an assortment of minor studies. We are accredited by AACSB and have recently been designated a Center of Academic Excellence for our Information Assurance Cyber Defense Program. Our entrepreneurship program is designed to support students who have what we call an entrepreneurial mindset. These students think creatively. They try to solve a problem or improve a process or a thing. It's amazing how many great ideas these students have, and this program helps cultivate these innovative ideas. So here we are today to celebrate these students in this competition. It started as a result of a generous gift of Irv Cranberg. The new business venture competition is the culminating event of this competition. It started with a simple intent to compete submission and has continued to this Shark Tank style competition, where these students pitch their ideas to a panel of judges as they try to win thousands of dollars. We are exceptionally pleased to partner with our colleagues at Innovate Marquette to highlight both the mini and big pitch competitions. Please enjoy the event and thank you for your support of our activities and students.
Up for Carol. So lock in your votes. Judges, lock in your votes. Hi, Carol. And I would say that starting a business is probably one of the most difficult things I think anybody could undertake. You're met with a lot of adversity, a lot of people trying to tell you you can't, you shouldn't, why would it work? Those are actually the people you want to talk to because they'll help you uncover some of those hidden things that you're not prepared for. But for me, I don't know about in your experience, but for me, digging into the breadth of an idea and figuring out plausibility, viability, finding the problems, those are all really the fun thing that kind of gets you charged up because you're in a world of discovery and proof of concept and trying to determine if it's a feasible idea or not. Maybe it comes out and you run the numbers and you're going to lose money for 12 years and that's never a good business model. But for what these guys have done tonight, they are going to have an ability to look at and analyze future problems in their life, whether it's business related or not, in a whole different way. And so I think you guys are very fortunate and congratulations and kudos for you. Hold on to that knowledge and that ability to kind of analyze and assess both situations, problems, and potential future ideas, and use these skills to make a very good decision on what you're going to decide to do with your future or your money or your time. So let's give it up again one more time for everybody. Thank you, judges. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And we're gonna let the judges decide if they haven't already. Remember, there's 4 components that we'll be awarding tonight. Yours, which you're all voting for right now, I hope. The judge's live pitch decision, as well as the business plan and the trade show decision. So we should have those shortly. Okay. Well, I bet you're all wondering what I have here in front of me. It's the answer to all your questions. So we do have the winners tonight, and we're going to go in order of the different components, and we're going to start with the trade show. And our trade show winner tonight with her aquatic canine therapy is Rachel Harvey. Congratulations, Rachel. Next, we're going to move on to the business plan aspect of our competition. And really, it's not a competition. It's let's just get it out there. We're all trying to do good things. Our winner is Alex in French Brouillet. Congratulations. And based on the judges, our live pitch winner is again Rachel Harvey. Now your favorite, the one that you guys loved. Drum roll, anyone? Thank you. Again, Rachel Harvey. Holy sh- Awesome. Congratulations to everybody, not just for winning in this case and getting some glory, but also for the hard work that you guys did. And as I mentioned, those skill sets that will follow you for the rest of your life and whatever you decide to do. I want to thank the judges for your time. Appreciate it. I want to thank me for being here. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, all of you guys for participating in the voting, being here, supporting your friends, family, fellow Wildcats. That's great. And we don't have the third winter to deal with, I don't think, and it's not going to come. We're going to be fine. So we don't have to travel. I'll say drive safely, but I don't think you'll need it. So thank you again for coming. Congratulations to everyone, and we'll see you next year. Thank you. And our mini pitch winners, come on up and we're going to get some pictures.